Well, as we were saying, Disney Plus in the UK, here on Hulu, and you're like, this is back and forth, Disney Plus, Hulu, all that. It's confusing, we know. And that leads us to our featured story of the night. Yeah. So I want to talk about Disney Plus and Hulu because apparently it's come to that point. We were just talking about how it's confusing. Well, it's come to that point where Disney Plus and Hulu are going to be merging because Bob Iger finally was like, hey, everybody, we're going to start putting our Hulu content on Disney Plus. We're going to start merging it over because it doesn't make sense to divide it so much, especially when they're losing money and subscribers. So they have lost 2 million subscribers this year on Disney Plus. 2 million.
Yeah, we're not in a pandemic anymore, guys. Everybody's going to lose frickin' subscribers. Like,
I know.
Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong.
But it's their biggest since 2019 that they've lost people since their launch. You know, they launched and then they lost some people, gained, lost 2 million. That's huge. They've been growing, and they lost 2 million people. So Bob Iger's like, we got to change our, look at this whole thing and change it up. They're going to raise the price for Disney Plus. They haven't said how much yet, but they are going to raise the price because they have to make more money. Like I said, they're going to merge them together because he was saying that combining them will create more of a focus on marketing. They said they're marketing for 2 different companies right now. They can market on one only now. They'll save money doing that. It will become a one app experience, and that will actually be better for the user. They can raise the price a little bit, make a little bit of money. Then again, you're getting 2 different paychecks already. So how do you gain money on that actually? But they've already been bundling with ESPN, Disney Plus, and Hulu, so maybe it'll just be a natural progression with all of that. And on top of that, because of all this, they're going to start purging content from Disney Plus, which to me, I'm like, what's the point? You own it. It's up there. It's done. Why are we taking it off? Why are we putting it back in the vault? Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to put stuff back in the vault, release it at certain times, or they're going to never release it again. And that's something that's happening, everybody. In case you're wondering, it's going to start happening. They're going to start dropping shit off, and you're never going to see it again. And they're actually going to do the same thing that WB and HBO did with Batgirl. Because what happened with Batgirl was they thought, well, it's not good enough. We're going to put a tax thing out there, say it's a whole write-off, and never release it. They're doing that with their stuff. They're going to purge content off, and they're calling it like an impairment charge. Impairment charge, they're calling it. Where they take it off approximately 1.5 to 1.8 billion dollars, they're saying, of content they're going to take off the service and write that off, and you're never going to see it again.
Because right, but like Disney no one ever saw Batgirl. Like, are they like? So is this stuff that's already been viewed and they're taking it off?
Already out there. Yep, that's already out there.
Filmed and they're not going to put on.
That's already out there. Apparently, they're taking it off and they're saying they lost money off it, and it's an impairment clause, and they're taking it off. You're never going to see it again, and they'll never make money off it again. I don't know if they can write it off legally, but that's what they're going to do. That's what Bob Iger said at this big meeting they had yesterday. So I'm like, how do you do this? So Disney Plus, Hulu together, and maybe it'll be more like streamlined now with them as one service because we're talking about like, what's it on, Disney Plus or Hulu? But the fact that we're losing content to me is bullshit because if you own it, with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all that shit, content comes and goes and it makes sense because they can only pay so much for stuff and then they lose a contract and then they sign a contract with somebody else, then it moves over there. That makes sense to me. But with this, it's like, if you own it, why write it off?
No sense with Disney, does it?
No, it doesn't.
They're not selling the licenses for that to anybody else. I mean, unless they are, but they haven't, so...
They haven't been. So why is Disney in such a bad place? Like, honestly, why are they in such a bad place? They are the biggest thing in the town. Is it a money grab? Sabrina, is it a money grab?
No, but they lost some money, but that doesn't mean that they lost money overall. Like, they make shit tons of money. Like, hand over foot money. They own everything. But so they lost 4 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers.
2 million, yeah.
I thought my notes say 4 million, so I don't know where I got that from. I'm probably wrong, but whatever. They lost a bunch of subscribers to Disney Plus. You know what I mean? And now they have to do all this dumb shit to try to compensate. But literally, historically, they pay the lowest salaries out of most entertainment companies. Disney and Nickelodeon historically pay the lowest salaries and are the most nickel and dimey with anyone. They have Disneylands, Disney Worlds, Disney resorts all over the world that are making tons and tons of money. Like our friends, Chris and Joanna, friends of the show, are
Friends
going
of the
to
show.
Disney in June. And like the passes to just buy tickets for like 4 days is like, 500 and change, like per person. And they have 3 children and
Wow.
themselves. Like that's
Wow.
ridiculous for 4 days of park hoppers or 4 days or whatever it is. Like there's like all these, then you have to eat there, which is a ton of money. And you have to buy the kids stuff, which is a ton of money. And you know what I mean? Like you're flying there, first of all, staying in a hotel. Like, I mean, it's just that's not their money, but at the same time, they do have a Disney hotel. So some people will go there and spend the money in the Disney hotel and then go to Disneyland. It's like thousands of dollars for a family to go and spend time at Disneyland. Like, no, you're not fooling anyone. You're not hurting for money. Like, rein it in, just stop. It's like basically being like, I don't know, a millionaire and being like, well, I'm not a billionaire. So I'm going to be really sad and I'm going to hustle a bunch of people that are definitely not billionaire or millionaires. They're like barely thousandaires. And I'm going to take their money so that I can become a billionaire instead of being a millionaire. Like
they've also had a lot of layoffs
ridiculous.
though too. They're constantly laying people off. That's been happening recently.
Thank you for screwing other people as well. But the thing is what you're paying now for the ad-free Disney Plus is going to be what they charge for the ad. They're putting ads in. So that's going to be the same price as what they're going to charge for ads. So now what you're paying right now, you can keep, but you're going to have commercials on your Disney Plus. And then they're going to charge more for what you're getting right now for that price. They're going to put ads on, and then they're going to charge more to not have ads. And then they're going to charge even more if you want to bundle Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus. It's like, kindly go fuck yourself. It's ridiculous. Like, there's not even like a slow move into it. They're just like, this is how it's going to work. And like, you're paying this amount of money, right? And now you're like, you have to pay whatever, twice as much or $5 more or whatever to not get ads. But then you have to pay another $5 to add this other content. Like, I mean, it's really annoying. And when you have like every single streaming service, I know they're not super expensive, but it really adds up. Like, if you could just pay cable basically and have the same, it would be less than paying for all the streaming services.
Well,
but then you're not
they're
getting
trying to solve, right? They're reinventing cable. They're saying, oh, you don't have to pay all the the different fragmented streaming services. You can just give us all your money, and if it's
we'll take it.
To me it comes down to if it's curated well and what, like, to me.
No, but you're not getting all that original content if you go back to cable. You're not getting Mandalorian or any of those 38 Star Wars shows. You're not getting any of the original content, like
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're not getting all the
like,
Disney Plus things like Vision and WandaVision. And you're not getting
Loki,
all those guys.
So we know
Winter
what's
Soldier
included and what's not. Then I guess I didn't realize.
Well, no, I'm just saying if you switched to cable and paid less money than you're paying for every single streaming service to have, you're not going to get any of that original content. You can only get that on Disney Plus. You can only get Hulu's original content on Hulu. You can only get Netflix's shit on Netflix. So you have to.
That's what I'm saying, though. They're trying to bring it under one their own umbrella, though, right? So they're doing like their own version of cable by bringing together these multiple channels together.
Right, but they're one.
Right.
But they're one.
They
thing.
also have.
So but there's still Netflix and Apple TV Plus and all the other shit that people.
But Disney though,
that's what I'm anticipating is okay. Well, what are the other, if not mergers, like what are the other deals that some of the other big players are going to come up with to if people are having this fragmentation fatigue of having too many, like, bundled services, I guess is what it is. Because
but they're competition with each other. They're not gonna. I mean, they can only bundle services within themselves, like Warner Brothers is doing. And
I'm not saying specifically exactly cable. I'm just saying bundled services in general.
But Disney also has Hulu, which Hulu has live TV as well. You have all those channels on that already. So they already have that. So when they merge, you will have all the Disney content. You will have all the Hulu content. And you will have everything from TV. So they're essentially becoming that anyways, like Comcast or Spectrum or all that. If they're going to have they'll have plans of like, it'll be the same thing as having Spectrum pretty much, but you'll have Disney Plus on top of that, So that's going to be something, except some of it be purged away because they're going to write that shit off, which is bullshit.
Also, it's like, so you lost subscribers, so let's make it more annoying by putting ads on it for the same price, and then also let's take content away. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great deal. Let me sign up for that crap.
People will pay though.
It doesn't make sense. But they're like, oh,
People
nothing
pay.
says more subscribers by annoying ads and less content. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Let's talk about the content going away, like the whole Disney
Yeah.
Vault concept. Like what? It's artificial scarcity, right? It's the McRib situation. Like they just think that we'll want it more. But like in terms of streaming, like don't we all have fond memories of back when Netflix was like full of all the great movies that you wanted to watch? Like that was really cool. Like, and we don't have anybody that's doing that kind of acquisition, which maybe is impossible because maybe people aren't giving away licenses to streaming for the same value that they used to be, which I'm sure is the case.
Well, they just keep ping-ponging back from all the other services. Like, let's say the movie Elf. You know, like there was like 3 Christmases ago, you couldn't watch it on anywhere. It was nowhere to be found, but you had to rent it. You know, and then last year I can't remember which one it was on, but it was on something. It was either Hulu or Netflix, or it was on a streaming service.
I think Peacock had it or something too.
Oh, it was Peacock?
Because Universal was like a big one for it. Universal always putting it out there.
It was like they obtained the rights for an amount of time. So like for 3 years you can see Elf on there, and then later on it might be on Prime. Yeah. You know, or it might not be anywhere, or then it's going to go back to over here, and then it's going to be on Netflix. Like there's no, aside from like original programming for the streaming services, there's no continuity of where you can see anything. So if I want to watch something and it's not a series that I know is curated for a specific channel, I just talk into the Amazon Fire Stick and I'm like, name the movie and see what it says. It'll be like, this is the ways you can watch it, or you have to pay, and then at least I know.
This is the way.
It's so annoying though. It's really it's
do
super
the same
frustrating.
thing. I use justwatch.com to keep track of that kind of stuff, so I can see what services
what you could watch there.
Anytime.
Yeah.
We need AI to tell us where to find it, where we're going to watch. That's what it is.
That's the way to do it too.
That's a slippery slope there too.
No.
That's a slippery slope there too. It is. It really is. But Mike, do you think that maybe this is a smart move on Disney to start merging everything together? Do you think this is a natural progression? And also, do you think that it's going to change the whole spectrum of streaming in general?
I think it does have the potential to change the landscape a little bit, just because anytime the money gets into a smaller, bigger. No, I mean a more tight,
bigger, faster, stronger, harder. Yes,
taller pile of money. That there are new opportunities that come up. So if it's curated well, if they I don't know. Are they having focus groups? Are they saying, okay, what do people actually want?
They're Disney. They're not paying people to do a focus group.
Bob Iger's waving that wand and making it happen,
So
he doesn't care.
So what? This is going to make the graph go down? Because what universe is this going to bring them more subscribers? Is what
it's not, but it's going to bring them more money. It's going to make up the difference. Is what it's going to do, because they're upcharging on the content.
I just wonder, because if you're making like, okay, so if you're doing Hulu and you're getting like, what is it, $12.99 a month, and Disney Plus is $7.99 a month, and people are paying for both of those already, of course they are bundling them already, so they're already giving people deals. Like, we merge them together and they charge like an extra $1. So are they just going to find like that middle ground? So they make maybe $1 more, and then it makes it more easy for people that don't have any service? That's the question.
They don't need to make much more money to make it worthwhile for them, do they?
Well, but also there's the whole ad revenue thing, like the whole with ads, without ads. That's also a thing.
They frame that as like that's a good thing for the consumer. Like, oh, you can just watch the ads and it'll be cheaper for you.
It's cheaper, yeah.
It's
more annoying.
Back to old school TV.
I mean, I guess if you don't have a job or your time isn't worth anything, and I'm not saying that people that don't have jobs their time isn't worth anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying people should be valuing their time and not and if the difference is $5 a month, like pay the goddamn $5 so they're not pumping this nonsense into your head all the time.
My Hulu has ads because I barely watch Hulu. I watch few things on there. So if I do want to watch Jimmy Kimmel Live or one of the 2 shows that they have on there,
so
that's
it's worthwhile for you then. That's a value proposition for you.
But with Disney, I do not have ads. There is no ad tier on Disney, right?
Yeah,
so I have Hulu with ads and Disney with no ads. I'm not watching Mandalorian with commercials. I will kill somebody. Like, that's ridiculous.
That would be bad.
So
not gonna do it.
Then if you bundle them together, now I have to get rid of the ads on Hulu and for sure not want to have the ads on Disney. So let's say I'm paying, I don't even know what it is, $12.99 right now for Hulu with ads and Disney without ads. If I want to merge them together and have them both with no ads, it's probably going to be $17. You know what I mean? Like that's
Well, I feel like that's going to be too much. I mean, maybe because think about how much that HBO Max charges already, so maybe it will be more of a premium price now.
well, they're
maybe it will
saying
be raised.
they're saying what you're paying for Disney Plus right now is going to be the ad version of Disney Plus. So to not
Yeah,
have
fuck
ads,
that.
how many more dollars is that going to be? At least
Thumbs
$3,
down on
right?
that.
There's not just
At
$1.
least.
It's definitely not $1 for ads.
$3
Like, you know
at
what I
least.
mean?
They were raising
At
things by
least
$2, probably at least 3. Yeah, probably 3.
You know what I mean? So if it's $12.99, that's $15.99, and then to get the Hulu without the ads because it's bundled together, that's another $3. You know what I mean? Like I don't. This is all made up money. It's or made up numbers.
Yeah,
like,
there's
we don't
no
know
official
exactly.
prices yet.
But like stand to reason
We're
that it's going to be
brainstorming.
something like that. You know what I mean? And that's fucked when you're paying for
Bob,
all of
just-
these other things.
Just buy The
Love you, Bob.
Office from NBC, pay NBC whatever they want, buy The Office, buy Friends, and then you can charge people whatever you want because they'll come to your service. Anyway.
Bye, friends.
Yeah.
Bye, friends.
In perpetuity.
Well, maybe.
Give them the one.
Maybe friends.
Hell,
I
fuck,
wouldn't-
buy Seinfeld while you're at it too.
They're
Go
not-
hog
they're not-
wild.
Pop it up
They're
there.
not
Own
spending
all the
any money.
rights.
They take
They're
the
not,
money.
no.
They don't spend the money.
Yeah, that's one thing that Disney does, and I've worked for Disney. They can be great, but I feel like they're always trying to find like how we make money. That's all it
How's
comes
Crafty,
down to.
man? How's the food truck? They sending that bacon mobile by?
Well,
Dude, do
on
you
Ant-Man,
remember-
the fucking food was great.
Mhm.
Well,
Fucking
that's
food was
different.
amazing.
That's different. That's not regular.
That's
Disney.
Marvel's side of Disney.
It's Marvel.
That's the
Disney.
Marvel
Like,
side of
there's
Disney.
different-
It
there's
depends what
different
branch.
parts.
There's
If you're
there's
doing
Disney,
Disney
Marvel.
Channel,
There's Disney Channel. There's Star Wars Disney. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think about it?
There's
When you
all
break it down, they
different
own the
factions.
town. They own the town, you know? And they're different by what the job is. Like the sitcom world, they're very cheap with that world. And they can be. And they cancel shows after 3 seasons. That's the thing, because they have to go to full contracts. But that's not their fault. Honestly, that's a SAG fault. That's
and
on SAG.
They do a back
It's on SAG.
9 or a back,
on
like
SAG.
a back end order. So
I feel like that's the thing, though. It's like they make so much money, but the contract thing, it really comes down to SAG. It comes down to the negotiations at that point. Like the producers just saying, like, this is what we want. And then if the SAG gives into it, then that's what it is. That's what the deals
absolutely.
are. And that's why it's
Unions,
cheaper, you
but
know?
the producers are the ones that SAG didn't go in there and be like, you know what? Let's keep that under 5 contract for $350 for you only, but we don't keep that it's the contract is abolished, but we'll keep that for you if you give us what? Literally nothing. So it's the producers
Yeah,
are coming
it's
to them with that and they're agreeing to it. You know what I mean? Like
And
they're
Disney's
allowing
taking advantage of it. They're like,
that's
yeah,
rough.
fuck yeah.
That's
They're like, fuck
rough.
yeah. Which I
Yeah,
get. If I were them,
100%.
I'd be the same way. If I were them, I'd be the same way. Fuck yeah. You're going to say, yes, that's cool. You know what I mean? Sign that contract. Because that's that's how it's going with the contract negotiations. Hence, we tie it back around to what's happening right now with WGA. And that's what it comes down to. Contracts between the writers, the producers, the directors, the actors, everybody in this town. That's what it comes down to. And I hope that if they do merge these together, when they do merge these together, because they are merging together, I said early 2024, when it merges together, hopefully it's okay for the consumer. Hopefully it's not going to be like a shit show of price raised up again. It's a construct we all agree on. We all people
100% true
Yeah.
right there.
You know, that's what we
100%
live in.
true.
I think we
And
both did that
hopefully-
independently, Sabrina.
Oh, really?
It's good for the consumer.
Yeah.
We also don't. I mean, to be fair, like I don't agree on it, but there's
End
really
of the
nothing
day.
I could fucking do about it. You know what I mean? So like they
End of the
agree
day.
for us. It's not our choice, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's all about the consumer at the end of the day. So take care of the people that are actually paying your bills. Give them best content. Don't charge them too
no,
much.
it's not about the consumer anymore, Brian.
It should
it's
be,
about,
though.
but
It
it's
should
not.
be. It
It's
should
not.
be.
Money.
They don't
That's all
even
it's
say.
ever been
They don't
about.
even
For
say
them,
the
it's about
customer's
making money.
always right anymore. That's not even a thing anymore. You can call up and be like, "You trampled my 42 flowers when you tried to climb up my pole and fix my cable that you told me was out, and then you want to charge me $50 for it." Like what?
And they
what?
say, thank you for your service.